All right, hi everybody. I'm going to do a little something different in between this next video and now because, there's been a few more things that God has shown me in correlation to part 3, and I want to share them with you while I'm also going back through and sharing a couple more things that I found. So let's get started. But the first thing that I want to do is, talking about clues and being given these signs to be seen with my good eyes and whatnot, that there's so many tools like my whiteboard and my Bible to give me these, but then also my card decks. It's a huge tool for God to use me for this message spreading. So something that he and I did earlier was I put my regular deck of cards and my tarot cards together, and I'm going to debunk them for you and show them how a division goes out, how a pyramid is built. So pay attention. But when it's just stacked out like this, look at how much that is and whatnot. And this is just 1/4 of what that would look like. Imagine it stack, windmill, 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 right? So let's get to it. The first card that we're going to start off with is the Joker, which in other sense, this is a one, it's a wild card. It's God in this sense. It's also can start off as like the Fool, which also relates to tarot, which we will get to that soon. This card in your deck, this is a wild card, but I see it as God as well. So now there's God, with God there working with all of his almighty magic, right? And then we start off with that 1.5, the 1.5, 1.5, 1.5 to make the 3. I'm using my tarot cards in between all of this to represent God, just like I did in those graphs of the Emerald City and my webs. So when you see these, I just see it as one big eye and whatnot like we did. So just keep in mind that that is just God working for us there. Plus that one more there to give us that 5 that we have looked for, that 5 and 1, right? Now there's this 5 and 1 where it's going to create that whole new cell, whole new structure, foundation, with that eye in between, starting off with that 2, giving us the 8, because that would beat the 10. And we're going to just continue going in with these mirroring. Keep in mind that this is 15, with this would be the 20 to reproduce underneath throughout, this way, that way, so on and so forth. I hope you guys don't mind my camera setup. I'm working with what I got. Also, please keep in mind that these are going to be reflecting out this way. And then keep in mind that you still don't know this next step. So sure, this don't look like it makes sense now, but give it a minute, okay? 7 plus 2 is 9, plus the 1 more, either direction, is going to be that 10, just like this here. So then we're going to add God in one more time, and there's the 2 again. And we're just going to continue this whole thing, right? Here's your evens and your odds with that stacking, and these are actually going to, here's that 4 coming into play, giving us that 9 with that 10, 9 and the 1. Also, this could be 11 because this is out, also going out this way. I just don't have enough cards, let alone this still building up in here too, these 5s repeatedly, along with these 0.5s in here. So this is just the biggest that I can get it to be broken down. Right now we're going to be at that king. Here's that 7 again to reproduce it right back. There's that 10 to meet that other 5. Continue going. There's that 5 one more time. The jack. And there's that, 10, the 3 plus the 1 more and the 2, that's the 15, so on and so forth. And here comes this 4 here. Now this 4 is also the end of this 4 here, and then the 2 7s within there. So this now means that I've come to a full cycle of 2 reproductions, because I've already had 4 in between there with these 5 minus the 1s, so on and so forth. So now what's going to happen here, so I should have just started this down a little further, but it's okay. This is now going to project out, start over that 5 here, 4, God there is 5. Let's do the 3 again. And we are just going to continue this whole mirroring. You know, 6 plus 3 plus the 1 is the 10. 6, you know, 6 times 3, or 6 plus 3 is 9, so on and so forth. Oop. Plus, there's going to be another one in between here. Let's see if I'm going to get to it. I don't think I accounted for it. So mind you, there's another one in there while it's also going out this way underneath, while it's also going out this way underneath, in the midst of all of this building. So then now we're going to get back to this 4, and we are really just going to start this all over again. There's that 1 more time. There's that 7 to reproduce, so on and so forth. And it's just going to continue going. And there it is again, that both. It's going to reflect in and out that way. Oh. Which is this right here, the 2. So then this also tells me that we're going to go out this way now, right? Oop. Let me move these out of the way, you guys. My whole dining room table is just covered. So now it's going to go this way. Continuing that cycle over and over. And I just asked God to show me, and we started playing with the cards one day because I kind of just go around and play, but I'm really just waiting for him to call to me to play with these. There should be another one in there already. Look at, there he is again. He's being so good. There's the 1 more time. Oh, actually, so this here, yeah, that's here, there. Giving this here. No, actually, the way that my table's set up, it should be going out this way to come back around this way underneath. So we're just going to leave that 5 there because this is also what is flipping out this way again. So we're going to get those 10s back into play because all of these 5s and these cycles of 5s, because we're starting on the 4 here now, right? They're starting to build up, so we're getting to those bigger cards. Ooh, and then there's another reproduction cycle right there. Reproduction cycle. So that should go this way again. I know it's very hard to keep up with, you guys, and it makes sense to me, but I need this to go back out that way. 6. 5 is the 11. One more time. 4 with the 10, right? So we're starting over, but then I'm out of cards. But if you guys can see the way that this is all, this is your 4 and 10, right? 1 corner of the pyramid, 1 corner of the pyramid, 1 corner of the pyramid, 1 corner of the pyramid. How this also works is, you know, son against father, father against son, mother against daughter, daughter against mother. Underneath and in between, this is where these in-laws come in. And if you do this yourself or have this map understood, so many times this is going to flip as it's changing direction. And on one side of the pyramid is going to layer in 3s while this is laying in 2s. And then when this next layer comes upon to continue stacking again to build the pyramid up this way, or the structure, material, human body, whichever it is, it's going to start over again. But then that mother-in-law or that daughter-in-law will come into play. And these cards will now start going 3 on this side while it's stacking 2 on this side. So 3 and 3 against 2 and 2. Now that daughter and mother-in-law comes into play, and now it's 3 and 3 against 2 and 2 to evenly balance it all while it's rebuilding and prime stacking. So, you know, let's put this back here. And, you know, let's just kind of, I don't need these to be in any order anymore. Let's just kind of play with it. If I just continue to kind of just stack it the way God intended, now that I've shown you. Let's put that half there. Put that half there. Guys, it's late, I'm tired, and I have a lot more to show you. So in the meantime, you know, really this is what it's going to look like to our eye anyway, because we're not going to be able to see that stacking. But this is just one full deck plus about 70 tarot cards. So 52 plus 72 tarot cards. You know, look at all that layering in there, the complexity of it all. You know, when I put these all down, you know, whether they're up or down or not, it don't matter, because there's each and every single spectrum that's being built, right? There's evens and odds, there's X's and O's, they all make the building blocks. I mean, just look at how many times God is throughout all of that, right? Oh, as I'm about to drop all my cards. But there's no way that God don't exist now. I mean, look at how much he's in within everything, within us, within our whole entire world. So I just felt very lucky that God showed me that today, because I wanted to share it with you, and I will explain every single topic, each and every way that I need to, in order for you to understand it. Just because I'm explaining it one certain way doesn't mean that you can understand it. So if you still are having a hard time understanding this and would like me to go back through it and have any questions, please let me know. Please, please, please let me know. I'm here for you. Now I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to add it to the next so we can move on. See you soon. All right, you guys. So the next thing that I want to show you relating to all of that breakdown was, this is just a little rough draft pretty much of every card that I laid out, the movement, the direction, how many times God is actually reflected within each cycle, relating to these here, where these big, huge cycles come in for patterns of, you know, intellectual cycles, physical cycles, all that jazz over time. You know, starting with that Joker there and God all the way down here, the 1, 2, 3 steps into the 13, get into here, down there again, because each of these eyes are coming into play. And to be honest, with everything that I've said and taught, each single tarot card is an eye. It really is, because it's God. Now, look at all of these. Just 5 by 5 by 5, 25 eyes right there in just one. And that's just that alone when it comes to the energy and the electricity of the combustion to, you know, create. That's it. Like, just big picture. Look at all of the steps that it needs to take, all the backwards motion while it's also moving forward because of these huge areas of creation. All of that energy in between all of those cards. Isn't that insane? It's beautiful though. There he is. Hi. So, isn't that pretty neat? Like, I just got called to play with the cards, and then I started seeing what was flying out and what was happening, and I said, okay, we're going to show the world this way. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Really quick too, I want to hit back on the twin flame thing yesterday, because I can't tell you guys how many times I watch my videos before I edit them, and I didn't catch these 2 clues that God has given me until after I already pretty much had them uploaded to YouTube. And so, little did I know that it was going to lead me to something else today while I'm trying to get everything planned for part 4. So let's go back to this, because the first clue that I realized was wrong as soon as it was on YouTube was going back to the cardiological solar value of all of us, between me and Jason and my twin flame, right? So what God had done, even though I knew, because I had practiced, because you guys, I write notes like none other. You know, I'm not going to put out something that I'm not confident in, and I'm not going to be successful if I do that. You know, so let's go back, because this has just blown it up even more. So everything that I did with Jason was correct. And that doesn't bother me none, because I knew that was right. And then in my head, I knew what to do. And on paper, I knew what to do by the directions that I wrote down. But having that all come into play yesterday while I decided to roll with it, it was really hard on my energy. So I'm happy I took the day to figure it out, because once back again, I feel God and Jehovah right here. Well, also, I'm feeling everything negative with my twin flame. You know, it's really heavy energy to constantly have to work with this kind of energy on top of this positivity that I'm trying to master in my grounded 3D life with Jason. And the emotions are not there for me. It hasn't been there for a while because I've mastered them in this twin flame relationship, right? But the energy I cannot control, and the energy is just very tiring and taxing because I've already been doing this for so long. So bear with me, because it's starting to take its toll. It really is. On top of that, my twin flame is also trying to have union happen with communication. And, you know, why now? Why now? Why right now in this period for me, when I'm still recognizing the vicious patterns that he would create in the sense of through communication, because that's all that I'm getting, that's all I will allow. And so things are just starting to really, the wheel is starting to go, you guys. And then this happened yesterday. So it's kind of just, okay, it is what it is. I'm holding space for it. I'm not really quite sure I like how it makes me feel, because I have walked away. It was no longer serving me. And I've explained that to you. I've opened myself up completely to show you how much pain I've gone through and how much suffering. So I know where I'm coming from to be able to do this for you. I don't half-ass anything. I full-ass it. And this is where this comes in. So let's full-ass it, because I need to show you guys this. And what God has told me today is that the rest of it, I was pretty spot on. So let's see. Are you buckled in? The first clue that I got that my birthday was not right, I had put 12 plus 19 equals 27, which I know from my memory and playing with the cards, that's the 2 of diamonds, right? So 2 of diamonds, I'm like, well, that's 1 and 1, and it's gonna mirror. Of course that card's gonna go with anything, right? So that's why I was like, yeah, it matches. Yeah, it can go in. Like, what the heck? Like, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, this isn't right, but I couldn't have any control. And in the meantime of all of this, I'm gonna get back to that. Hold that thought. Rewind. So let's stick to this first, because I don't want to jump ahead on you guys. I want to take it slow. I want you guys to be able to follow along. But I also know that many of you have twin flame issues, and that's a part of this healing. And so we need to acknowledge it and take account for it. So I told myself that it was 27, even though I knew it wasn't. When really 12 plus 19, 9, 10, 11 is 31. 31. That is the perfect match for Jason too, right? But now it's the perfect match. It's not just that 2 of diamonds reflecting that Jack of clubs. Now, just go with it. Just go with it. Please just go with it. Now that Jack of clubs is equal to that clubs of Jack. Oh man, y'all, the trees, they're still trees, okay? Trees of Jack, whatever. Seriously. So now, I also realized that my twin flames was wrong. However, do you see now how easy it was? You know, I just want to mention this. How easy it was for me to go off and say, holy shit. I mean, shoot. You know, I'm able now to reflect on this. And now that I've mastered the game and mastered my emotions, and I realized what was going on last night, that, okay, this is just numbers. I'm not going to create any situation in my head anymore. I'm not going to tell myself that, okay, yeah, we're perfect matches now that I've seen the 24 and the 31 and the 24 and the 31. But I had that math wrong. Stay tuned. I had it wrong, even though I knew it wasn't right, but that power had come over me. So now today, when trying to debunk this all and talk to God about it, it was a tower. I've been in a tower all day. And yeah, God showed me these clues. They really did. He and Jehovah. And now I see why. Because if I was not alert and opened and had my goggles off to see this true game of this 4-year cycle with my twin flame that's now trying to communicate, he won't tell me why, says he's worthless when he bothers me, and I'm over it. You know, I'm here to help. I'm here to help any one of you. But if you feel like you're a bother, don't make me feel like guilty about it. I'm not going to pack my bags and go on this guilt trip with you. I'm over the manipulation. I'm here to talk and have an adult conversation. If that's what you want, then bring it up. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care. You got balls and you want to talk about healing and bring it up, then do so. Otherwise, don't pull me back into your game, because that's exactly what tried to happen yesterday. And this is where that devil energy comes in, you guys. You saw it firsthand. But even I was like, what in the heck is going on? Like, why am I fighting this? Like, I know this isn't right. But at the same time, you guys need to understand, when you're spiritually awakening, that is how easy it can take over you. That devil energy where I'm like, okay, this is emotionally confusing for me. And I know that I have a soul connection with my twin flame that's out of my control. Once again, I will confirm it in just a minute because of this continued debunking. However, if I was not aware enough, you know, ironically, let's just say it wasn't in this situation, because obviously I am. However, I think that if I was with Jason and something had come back into play that I thought my twin flame and I were going to be perfect matches, because this is what told me, you know, that triggering of that devil energy of my mind being tricked into thinking once again. So last night and all night, I was up at 3:30 a.m., the witching hour, which I haven't been up at that time, you guys, for a very, very long time, since the beginning of this. And y'all know, because you all know how tired I was when I first couldn't process everything that was going on. And now I've made so much room for it. Something new happened, and I'm just like, okay, it doesn't faze me anymore. I am not afraid, so I just take it as it comes. I honestly think the devil was trying to, the ego issue, the devil energy was trying to mess up this thing again, because my healing, my road of spiritual awakening, to get me to go back towards that twin flame energy, because that's all I've been talking about, but I need to teach it. And it's never going to end for me. I've already told you guys that. I won't know what's going to happen until my vessel leaves this body or my lampstand and God shows me, right? But in the meantime, I was shown this. So this is Jason and I, right? So let's do my twin flames properly. Twin flame, well, his birthday is 0108. So, 0108. 0108. Okay, he's back, y'all. You see that? And it better not be the devil this time. 0108. So wait a second. If my birthday is 0619 and his is 0108, this is 6 months in between. $11 days. And I know that there's 2 years in between us. 2 years, 6 months, and 11 days. So 2 years, this is 1, and this is 1. 6 months is 3 months, and 3 months. And 11 days is 5.5. Oh, God. Wow. This isn't wrong, y'all. It ain't. You know, because January, February, March, April, May, June, there's the 6 months. Plus 9, See, now I'm not trusting my intuition and going with it like I did when I said Roman numeral 13. I should have trusted my gut, and I know better because God has taught me to be highly intuitive. I should have went with it because I was lucky. This ain't wrong. So now we're 2 years, 6 months, and 11 days in between each other. Wow, completely. I mean, here's God right here with the 5.5. The 3 equals down to 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So 3, 4, 5 plus 5 plus 5. It's 11. Ooh. Wow. So it's pretty much, here's the eye. And there it's divided. Completely. Because say like, you know, say this day, whatever day this would be, 3 months in. So let's say January, February, March. So this is March, April, May, June, right? So this is the first winter months. So in between one of these, this is what God sees. God sees what he's sharing this with me right now, you guys. God sees this line right here, this division, obviously not peace, but division. He sees this part of this line. This is that 5, this is that gold chakra that's coming down, right? And he sees that my twin flame contributes this to us, and I contribute this to that. Oh, wow. Wait a second. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. So 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. 11.5 plus 11.5. So it's 10, 3. Oh my God, 23. And there's the building block right there. See, now this is where this 23 can go positive or negative. It really can, because now once again I called myself out, didn't I? I always do that. Once again, it's emotionally confusing. Because what else I found, I know. It's this constant tug of war in my head over heart versus heart over head, which is exactly what mastering this game is about, is it not? Between the two on... It'll always be a war between your soulmate on Earth and your soulmate in 5D, unless they are saying, which is rarely, that still accounts. But it'll always be war. Like your ego. Your ego will always be there in your towers. He keeps saying tower to me. My tower will always be there. Which is true, because I've been sharing with you guys that my biggest towers after all of this was my parent wounds, leaving my mom and my sister, who is following her in her footsteps as characteristics of who she wants to be as a person. No offense to her, but she's chosen that route and she's ended up just like my mom. So wow. So let's just get back to it. So now we're going to take 01 times 01, and this is 2. Plus 8 is 10. 10 now. You know, so then 55 minus 10 is 45. Which that's where the 6 of spades comes in. And I'll show you all that in just a minute. But still, we know now by the math that I did last night or yesterday about how often this would go in. So let's continue on, because I want to show you. What he had me do in the first place. What did he guide me to do? So I was guided to do the 12 plus 19 equals 27 instead of 31, right? So 31 minus 27 is going to be 4. Let's just hold space for that over there. That tells me right there that he had me withhold 4 for lines, for reflections, for spectrums. So unknowingly, was that God? You know, God didn't exist. And then there's 2 of us, me and my twin flame, which is 2 reflections of God each, which would be 4, right? So here, once again, he's showing me the damage of what can happen when we do not take God into account. Because that's exactly what I did, was I took that 27 and look what else it led me to. Was not only the whole confusion with my twin flame, but it still led me to the 3131. So he still had it work out for me in Jason's favor. It was just not the right intended way to lead me to this lesson extra. So having that be completely wrong just shows me even more too another way I could have fallen into that trap of the double energy. Now, I honestly, after talking to God today and pulling cards and trying to figure out these messages and these signs, I really don't feel like it was the double energy. It's confusing. I'm not sure why my twins wants union now, you know, but at the same time, I think he's did it to show me this lesson of, wow, I really could have fallen back into play if I was so wrapped up in the idea of him and I ever working out. And I'm really grateful that I'm not anymore, because you guys saw how quickly that was to just keep going and keep going and keep going. When the whole time I'm like, no, I know, because that was open-ended and this is closed-ended. So thank God I was able to teach myself and open my eyes to be able to learn how things happen from within, so without, to understand that even that showing me that my twin flame and I were a perfect match, we really weren't, because of the inside math. If it doesn't work on the inside, it ain't gonna work on the outside, right? Because it's not resonating. So it would have just easily put me right back into that possession that I had, which truly was the double energy. There's a huge story about this spiritual journey of mine that y'all don't even know. And the possession that I had over me was a true thing. I'll never forget it. My dad and Jason saw it. It kind of convinced me that exorcism is a true thing. And I already get so much backlash on what I'm sharing with you guys now that I haven't even talked about it before, because I am so tired of people telling me that I'm crazy. I'm so tired of people thinking other things about me and thinking that they need to tell me when y'all don't. Okay? I am just fine. I am so fine that I've been able to show you guys this, what God has shown me. There's so much more to what God has shown me, but in the fear of being called crazy, I haven't even told you guys. But if y'all just open up your minds and your hearts to love instead of hate or against, you would see what I see, and I want to share that with you. You know, this whole tower that I was stuck in today, I could have easily processed it worse. I easily could have processed it negatively even more. But I have mastered the emotions. I know in my faith where I stand. I also know where I stand with my twin flame now. So, y'all ready? When I looked over that math again yesterday, he had me do 8 times 2 equals 16 plus that 8 equals 24. I had the day right, and honestly, the day will never change. It's always just going to be the month and the year. The day is just the smallest variable of that whole entire cycle, the physical cycle of weeks and months and birthdays, right? The smallest is just that one day, really, just that whole one, just the one day, okay? Because you have 13 hours, day and night in that whole one cycle. So God's told me that the day didn't change because it didn't change. It couldn't change. However, I took 8 instead of a 1, and I did 16, which equals that 24, which pulled me into that 23 obsession, which, just to show you guys how easy it can happen. And now, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, so not only is this 8 here, this tells me that this is August, reflecting August, right, instead of January. Now, I know that that's Leo. That's Leo energy, ain't it? Who I called my lion, who God has told me before, no, his positive reflection that goes best with yours is Leo. And now once again, here I am being told Leo energy. I'm also being told that there's really 5 lines to that birth chart that now I have to figure out where they're all going to come down into play, what degree where. The 4 lines that I talked about yesterday really aren't right, because God is in every single one of those, and therefore he has to be accounted. And therefore he's going to have his own, because we are accounted in him as well. 2333. Wow. Oh, God. 2333. Now, this right here, this tells me, okay, 8. So it can't be months, it can't be years, because I've only known him for technically 5 years, but we just say 4 because that's what we've been taught, right? I met him 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. We're on our 5th year. It's been a total of 4 years, right? So that's that whole one cycle, but this is the 5th year. The 5th year. Now, once that whole one had gone into play, right? That's when I started getting signs and information and dreams and everything about Twin Flame. Last year. You guys, this ain't finished yet. I have no idea what I'm really getting myself into here, but it's important. And it ain't leaving me. It is never going to leave me, because it follows me, and I'll tell you how. If it can't be months or years, this has to be lifetimes. Right? Cycles of 7 through those 10. But if I take that 8 and I minus God, that equals 7. 7 lifetimes times the 2 is 14. Seven lifetimes times the 2 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 28. Wait a minute, 28. So times 2 equals 14, times 2 equals 28. 28 is physical life, or physical cycle. So now I know 28 plus 3 is 31. So 31 to 31, 1 to 31 is equal to 1 to 13. Because of the opposite direction. So now, if I minus 3, 28, 28. So Oh, and minus 5 is 23, 23. First lifetime. God's telling me first lifetime. First lifetime for me and Jason. Wow. Cycle breaker keeps coming into my head. First lifetime cycle breaker. So because I'm a cycle breaker, for the first time in my lifetimes, qualities, I keep getting qualities. You guys, I'm a cycle breaker. For the first time in my lifetime, I've gained qualities for truest love. You guys, I'm a cycle breaker. I have gained qualities of true love for the first time. Wow. But y'all, let's go back to this real quick because wow. First lifetime ever. God's telling me right now that I've been deserving of having that good qualities of true love. Virgo with Jason. Spot on, complete, perfect match because I was a cycle breaker. For the first time in my lifetime of ancestry. Wow. So now, what God has also showed me today is that my twin flames card with mine. Minus 3 again. That's 7 and 28. Four cycles, which I showed you right there, didn't I? So every 7 lifetimes, my twin flame and I have 4 cycles together. And it's difficult for me to take that in because part of the twin flame job description is you have that duty. You have that duty to show your inner and outer strength. You have that dirty duty to heal and fix yourself and transform, which causes you to be a cycle breaker, to break all those other lifetimes that your family has put you through. You guys, this information that I learned, 3111, oh my gosh. This information that I learned, it's not just for me to teach you. I'm still healing. I am still healing right now. I'm still healing every single day. I'm still dealing with my own towers. But I don't want to show you guys that. Because I want to show you this. I want to show you things that matter. And healing matters, yes. But how I heal might not be how you need to heal. And I think I've shown myself in all aspects now that I know how to heal and that I've been through it. And I'm still going to be going through it. I don't know now because I've closed out a full cycle. It's been 7 lifetimes since we've been familiar with each other. And I know this because the first time I ever met him, he landed a big fat one on me, and that shock sent right through me, and I'll never forget it. And it was like, who are you and where the hell have you been? And that's the push and the pull every single time ever since then. No matter how much of the parent wounds come into play, no matter how much overbearing passion is there, you know, every 7 lifetimes we come back to each other, which is one cycle on its own, ain't it? And now I'm a cycle breaker and he wants union now. But for the first time in my life, I come from somewhere that's worthy. For the first time in my life, I'm not attached to all those vicious cycles that my family is still relaying in. I'm the black sheep and I'm proud of it. At least I'm a sheep, you know. At least I am one of who matters. We all matter. We do. We all matter. Absolutely. Sometimes we are just the sheep that needs more help than others, and they matter just as much, if not more, at that time, right? Yeah, we all matter, but we still need to protect each other as well. So, another couple things that I want to show you guys really quick is that when I was going through this today and I got to this 7 lifetimes thing, and this would make sense as to it, all that jazz, especially now because we completely mirror each other, don't we? Wow. We completely mirror each other from the birth date, and we mirror each other positively, negatively with that yin and yang, right? With the twin flame, that's what they're supposed to do. Whew. So now, it would make even more sense that this is every 7 lifetimes, because there's a few different things that he showed me today, and sometimes when he shows me, I'm not researching anything, I don't have music on, I'm not listening to scripture, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is I'm thinking, I'm praying, I'm opening up and letting him in, inviting him in with these walls of salvation, my walls of Yeshua, to keep me safe and true divination. And he just guides my pen. He writes what he wants to write. It's going in my head and I'm just writing it out, and it's beautiful. So let me show you what else he showed me today. So now let's go back to our cardiological solar value numbers again, right? So my twin flames turned out to be 45. So the one that I thought was mine yesterday, that's wrong. It's now the opposite was 24, right? So 24, he had me add this is 69. So then I thought, okay, wait, 69, that's plus 1, that equals 70. So now we might just be really done, because this tells me that this is 10 cycles of 7, but no, not really. So we need that 100, right? We need that extra, and we need a total of 13 cycles. So for the next 21 years, 3 times, I have the possibility of recreating this vicious cycle with him. I don't think so though, because I broke it, and God clearly showed me with that perfect match of Jason being in my life, right? But this is just another thing that can back this up. Now, we are also going to talk about my true number. So 45 plus 31, that's 76. Now, what caught me on this was that I need 2 more to equal God, right? 2 more to equal God. And I want to go on my gut with this, but I'm just going to double check really quick. Yes, I knew it. I'm doing a quick little research, and I should have just went with it. Gosh darn it. Intuitively. 78. This also is how many tarot cards are in a deck. So now, not only do I have 52 playing cards for cardology, cartmancy, whichever, I also have 78 cards for tarot. Now that he is another tool that he's used to show me all of this, and including my twin flame. I'm gonna do this really quick because I'm curious now, because I haven't done it. 26, oh my gosh. 26 minus 3 for the Joker, the Wild. 2 Jokers in the Wild, I should say. Wow. 23 different cards, which What is that? Actually, I don't think it's different cards. I think that would just pull in the minor arcana, wouldn't it? Let's see. So, oh, major arcana. Major arcana plus one more for God. That's what he's telling me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Whew. So, another thing is, this is when we met and now, right? So we're gonna add that together. That's 2 plus 8, and that's 10. So that's his also card right there, right? Now 20, 21, 2 plus 3 equals 5. So now when I thought about this, I'm like, okay, well, that's 15. But you know, if we're counting 7 and 7, that's 14 plus 1 more is 15. 7 and 7 again plus 1 more is 15. So this just shows me that right here and there, this is the next 7th lifetime, because it's also 15 years. You know, 15 years if we're going the opposite direction. Because when we're going back in time, we're really adding it, essentially. So now this also kind of tells me, okay, wait a minute, because I'm going that direction as if God's in my head, but I'm going to take it down a little further and I'm going to divide it even more as if God's in my head going that way positively, right? Well, 10 divided by 2 equals 5, right? But we're in this 5th year between 2021 and 2017 of this healing, this cycle ending, whichever. So now I'm like, wait a minute. So 2021 minus 2017 is 4. So now I'm like, okay, I can do the plus 1 here, and that's the 5. Or I can do plus 5 plus the 1 more and get the 10. So looking at that from God's point of view, with this 5, right? 2.5 from my point of view, 2.5 from my twin flame's point of view. You still gotta have that 1 though, right? Guys, it's insane. I really, you know, it's not just about healing, it's about the balance of everything else. And yeah, this is balanced, and yeah, it's gonna come back to haunt me no matter what. I don't have a choice, but I have that free will to make the correct choice in my healing. And the fact that I already broke this cycle. And I hope it's done. And it just makes me feel really good, because that was on top of the narcissism and the manipulation from my family. I was getting it from all angles. It was just really difficult. It really was. So the last thing that I want to show you guys really quick is that second clue that I got. And when we talked about cardiological solar value, right? Right after 27, I didn't catch this either until after this. At the same time, when all of a sudden I had boom, boom, I had 2 clues just like that. I had said cardiovascular solar value. So cardiovascular instead of cardiological. It should say this, right? Cardiological, right? But I said cardiovascular. Now, when I researched anything cardiological, even when I was like space or, you know, Earth's access, just anything, I couldn't get anything. It was all cardio related, anatomy and physiology. And I'm like, okay. So now this is all relating back to in my head about cardiovascular. I wonder if this happened to me the other night, because the night before my birthday, Jason took me down to Richmond Beach Saltwater Park, and he took a picture of us with, you know, sunset and the sun in the back. It's beautiful. But this picture shows something completely different to me than a typical picture would show. Now, I literally look like I have an aura around me. It also looks like, you know, seismic activity kind of, or whatever it's called when it's hot and cold and it's like blue and red and yellow. I see that in this photo, and I'm going to show you guys in this video. But I see it. I also see, if you look at the side of my face that's facing the camera, I see prime stacking starting. And I'm just like, wow, this is insane. This is incredible. How would this even happen? And now I'm getting cardiovascular solar value that my camera lens can pick up on a picture. The energy running throughout my heart, which really keeps me going, ain't it, is so high that the energy related out electronically through electricity, light flight theory, right? And my camera picked it up. My camera picked it up, and I think it's this. God is telling me it's this. I can't find anything on it. I don't know. But here I am showing you all these new things, and here I am now breaking down to cardiovascular solar value, and all I can think about to this word is that photo from Richmond Beach. So I'm gonna add it in this video. Let me know what you guys think. The prime stacking that you can see, it literally looks like a wing is just coming out from my shoulder, right? It just looks like it's just right there coming off, but you can't see it on my other clothes. You can't see it on my hat. You don't see it anywhere else except what might be coming off of me from as within, so without. So it is just insane. It is insane, all of these things that I'm seeing and all of these things that I'm being shown. And once again, things are just being taken off over and over and over again. And, you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna show y'all one more last thing. It's gonna be a new video. See you in a second. All right, you guys, so real quick, let's wrap this up, but I'm gonna show you how these card suits really look when it comes to the cardiological solar value. And this is the order that they have been intended to put in, right? 1 through 13, 1 through 13. So we're gonna count and we're gonna pull out those cards from our dates, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24, Jack of Clubs. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So, Jack of Clubs, Jason and I also reflect 5. Also reflect God. Now, let's see what else. So this was 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. There's my twin flames, right? But he was also 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So here comes that 10 and 15. See you soon. Wounds into light.